Today, I want to talk to you about how golf can make you a better cold caller. My name is Jim Burris with WRF Consulting. We help small and medium-sized businesses with elite-level, high-impact sales coaching, mission-driven leadership, results-driven marketing, and we help you make your data and your CRM easy to use and manageable and easy to understand. So when I say, golf can make you a better cold caller, what do I mean by that? Cold calling is not dead, despite what a lot of people will say. It's a great title. I think I've read a few books that promote prospecting, and they talk about how the best title ever written was "Cold Calling is Dead," because it's something that most people in sales they don't want to do, or most normal people, I guess. If you find somebody who just loves to do it, you better hold on to them and pay them a lot, especially if they're good at it, and they probably are if they love to do it. But there's so many different tools and techniques that you can use to generate interest, to get meetings, to build awareness with your prospects. But oftentimes, salespeople rely on them too much, and it can actually hinder their skill development. So that's how it relates to golf. I've played golf on and off for probably 6 or 7 years, maybe when I say that, maybe once or twice a year. Just recently, here in 2024, I've played more in the last 3 months than I have probably in my lifetime. And we know that the repetition is the mother of all skill, but how often do we lose awareness of that? So as I've been playing golf, and I have a commitment to hit 160 balls on the driving range every week. So I go twice a week and I get 2 buckets of 60. Maybe I should do more, but that's just what I'm doing right now. And then I walk 9. But what that's taught me is, going back to the grit. I made a video on grit. Like, you got to have the willingness to go through it. The grit is, repetition, consistent effort over time, and then having the big goal in the end, in mind. So the stick-to-itiveness. So with golf, the catalyst for me was I got invited to play at the PGA here. It's in Frisco, Texas, from a networking partner of mine, and it was with an old CEO, and then we were with the COO who had a membership at the PGA. And I was so embarrassed because these guys were good, and it's just like, I still don't know much about golf, but I know it's kind of a top-notch golf course. So that really inspired me to okay, I need to put in the effort and get good at this. So I actually am interested in golf now, and I study it. So the same thing can happen with cold calling, with prospecting on the phone. Salespeople, they'll spend all these times, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it. You build this cadence and you want to do this, and you can set it and forget it. I'm not saying to never do cadences, but I think you need to have an awareness of when you rely on them too much, or when your salespeople rely on them too much. Because how you get a meeting at the end of the day is you need to create interest, right? We all want to find that prospect that's ready to buy. That's like the golden ticket in sales, right? When you actually find somebody who's looking for the exact thing that you have. That's one of the things that, cadences can do. I'm talking about automated emails that you create in HubSpot, which is probably what most small and medium-sized businesses use, or Go High Level is another one. Those are good, and they can help build awareness, but they need to be written well. So you need to have good copy in them. They need to be in my opinion, they need to be story-based and relatable, and short, but engaging. So if you do them, make sure you do them that way. Spend some time, and if you need help with that, we can help you. But what salespeople need to do, whether it's an SDR, like an inside salesperson, or an outside salesperson, they need to go through the repetitions of the reps of learning how to have a natural conversation. So when they're on the phone, it doesn't sound so robotic. And I know this is probably common knowledge, but not necessarily applied a lot, or really understood how to change it, where they have so many conversations that they're so comfortable, like swinging a golf club. You'll get to the point where it's like, I've gotten to the point relatively quickly with my 7-iron and my one of my drivers, where I can I feel like I'm fluid with it. So your conversations can ultimately be that way, but they're not going to get there without A, repetition, and B, like coaching, understanding, how to have a conversation, how to, it needs to flow naturally, but you need to be prepared. These are sales calls. We're doing this on purpose, right? We're not just meeting someone randomly at the bus stop, to have a conversation about the weather. We're trying to drive revenue. So, what do? You need to understand that we're people. People need to be, they don't trust you. If they don't know you, they don't trust you. They may not say that to you. And they may not even think that, but subconsciously, that's just how our brains work. Our brains are designed to protect us. Stranger danger, right? So, as a salesperson, you need to be aware that, it's going to take potentially multiple conversations with an individual, but be aware and be mindful of how do you improve those skill sets on the phone. And you only improve them by picking up the phone, and then also having role plays. I think sales teams that don't role play every day are not led properly. I'm just going to throw some shade out there right now. If you manage or lead a sales team and you're not role playing with them daily, that's I'm just going to say shame on you. You should be. Professional athletes, they may not practice every day, but they practice their ass off and they make a lot of money. Most people in sales got into sales, they want to help people, but they also want to make money, right? So to think that you don't have to practice your profession, I think it's a little arrogant. And if you really, really want to improve your game, it's something that you should just be open to. Most salespeople don't want to role play. I get it. It's uncomfortable, but that's how we get good at it. When you do things that you don't want to do, you become so, you know what I mean? I can't speak to it, but I watched a podcast with Andrew Huberman, and he's a neuroscientist, and he was saying there's a part of your brain that when you do things that you don't want to do, it gets, this is sales coach Jim's terminology, not the neuroscientist. Your brain gets stronger. Hard things become easier to do, the mentally hard things. So that applies to us in sales, right? You don't want to role play. Tough. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? If you really want to get better, you need to, especially if you're not where you are. I mean, if you're crushing your goal, 250% to quota, you shouldn't even be watching this video, because you know what I mean? You should, if you're consciously competent with it, you should help other people. But if you're new to sales, or if you're not where you want to be, or your sales team's not where you want to be, you need to have a willingness to learn and a willingness to change, right? So you're going to have to role play, and you're going to have to get good at starting conversations and having conversations. And that also goes outside of work. If you're new to sales, or again, not where you want to be in sales, go out of your way to have conversations with people. I made a joke about talking about the weather at the bus stop. Go sit at a bus stop. I know this sounds unconventional and weird, but if you really want to get good at what you're doing, you'll do what it takes, right? Go to the mall, go somewhere, and just put yourself in situations where you have to have a conversation with another human being, right? And it may be stuff that you don't know about, right? With golf, I was uncomfortable, but I wanted to learn more about it. So I went to the golf shops at the golf course. I'm in Dallas, Texas right now. That's where I live at. I would go to a couple of the public courses and just talk to people, and I would tell them that I'm new, you know what I mean? And they would tell me things, and then I would just start participating in conversations, and I would pick things up, Now when somebody talks about being a scratch golfer or hitting 92, or somebody hit a 68, or they shot a 68 at the one place I was like, I didn't know what that was, but now I can have those conversations where I couldn't before. So whatever your role is, inside salesperson or outside salesperson, have more conversations. And if you can't get them, you're not, I'm just going to be honest, you're probably not going to get enough on the phone with real prospects to get the reps in quick enough to get good fast or faster. Role play with your team. You can hire us. That's one of the things that we do at WRF. Ask your coworkers, or go to the mall. Just have conversations with people, and you're going to find yourself being quicker on your feet, more, I think agile is probably a good word, and you'll have more of a natural tone when you talk to people. So you're going to want to record. I would encourage you to record yourself as well. Just like I've seen people at the driving range recording themselves. I don't do that yet. I may, but I'll probably just get a coach first. But they watch themselves. So record your phone calls, or if you have like HubSpot in most, I don't know about most states, but in Texas it records the phone calls. Listen to them, listen to other people's phone calls, and just keep doing it over and over and over. And one day you're gonna end a conversation. You're gonna book a meeting, or maybe you won't, but you'll come out of it going like, oh, I won that one. Like I'm good. You know what I mean? You'll realize like that you're a new person, like a new salesperson, like you've leveled up. Like in a video, I'm not a big video game player, but when I was younger, you would, whatever, you'd get to a new level. I remember Mario Bros. I'm 46, right? So that's what I played when I was younger. When you got to the next level, it was like, holy shit, you got there. That was cool. You put in the work, and you may have, had some issues, and then you learned, and it was hard, and you got frustrated. The phone is the same way. And it doesn't have to take months. It definitely doesn't take years. You could literally be there in weeks with the amount of repetitions, amount of reps. So just get out there, do the work. Don't rely on the sequences and the email blast. They work, right? I'm not going to lie, but you need to get good at them. But just don't send any for 2 weeks, and just whatever. If you have 5 or 10 conversations a week, set a goal to quadruple it, but do it outside of work. Say, hey, okay, I'm going to talk. Let's just say you're going to talk. You want to have 20 conversations this week, where it's like, when I say conversations, it's not just with like, hey, is Tim in? No, he's not. That's not a conversation. Someone that's like you actually ask a few questions to, you get a few no's or whatever, part of the conversation. Set a goal, keep track of it. And if you don't get them, like be willing to be weird, I guess maybe is a way to say it. And stop after work and say, hey, I'm going to go to the mall and I'm going to talk, pick a subject and just start talking to people like don't pretend to be a news reporter, but imagine you're a news reporter saying, hey, what did you think about the new building they're building here? You go do a little bit of research, right? Because that's part of sales as well. So just put in the effort, and if you're willing to be weird and open and coachable, your results will change drastically, relatively quick. Quick story, 30 seconds. When I wanted to get into sales, a friend of mine, Scott, in Florida, this was 20 something years ago. I worked on automated equipment, right? So I didn't really have to talk to people. I worked on machines, electronic stuff. But to get good at conversations, I read a Tim Ferriss book, and he says to go to the mall and he was talking to guys. He's like, just go up to women that you find attractive and talk to them, ask them for their number. Even if you don't, you know what I mean? Throw it away if you shouldn't be asking them for their number, but just to get up the ability to have those conversations, and then sharpen your skills, like do research and go talk to people about stuff. But Scott and I, we did this thing called trading the paperclip. We started out this is a true story, at Panera Bread in Clearwater, Florida, with a paperclip. And when somebody would walk up to the door, I'd be like, hey, you felt like an idiot and you look like one, but you got comfortable talking to people, and you would say, hey, I have this paperclip. Do you have anything you'd want to trade for it? Most people were like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? They thought something was wrong with you. You know what I mean? But then a couple people would engage in like a conversation. And then finally somebody's like, yeah, I got this. I think they went over and they took like something out of off their dash, like a little I don't remember what it was. But then we took that and we just kept going down the street. And it ended with, I was thirsty. I needed a bottle of water, and we went into a hotel. And I don't remember what I traded. Let's just say it was a battery. And I asked the lady at the front desk, I was like, hey, do you have anything you'd be willing to trade for let's just say it was a battery? And she said, yeah, hold on. And she came out with this big glass blue bottle of water, and I needed a bottle of water. And I don't know if that was just like a little bit of serendipitous moment. I didn't drink the water because it kind of was like, I was aware of, I got what I want by having the willingness to ask for something. I didn't ask directly for it, but I got what I wanted, what I needed, by asking questions. So that was probably longer than 30 seconds. So get in the reps, go out there, do it, talk to people, build up your courage, build up your grit, stick to it, put the reps in, do what it takes. And if you're a sales leader, an executive, or an entrepreneur, business owner, and your team needs help with sales training, sales coaching, sales leadership, we do fractional sales management, any type of marketing. And I'm not talking about just rebuilding your website. You need leads. You need to find people that are looking now. That's what we help your company do. We help you manage and understand the data as well. I have an offer, a special offer for companies. I'm really looking to work with MSPs somewhere in the U.S. They don't have to be in Dallas. We can work all over the country, all over America, Canada. I guess we could work in Canada as well. Where if you're willing to commit for 100 days, I'll knock off 1/3 of our price for that 100-day commitment. And the dirty little secret is, I know if you can commit to 100 days and we work together, you're going to get results. And that's what I want to do, is help your company get results. But I also know that if you're an entrepreneur or a CEO, you have friends that are entrepreneurs and CEOs. So if we help you, I know that the odds, just being transparent with you, you're probably going to want to refer us to some of your friends. So I'm willing to sacrifice some revenue to help you out. I'm just getting this business started. It's something I've had kind of a vision of mine for at least 5 years to really kick off and do. And it's just, the timing was right, and here we go. And I'll put my link to my LinkedIn bio in the description. That's the best way to get a hold of me right now. Pretty soon we'll have our lead generation set up, probably in the next week or two. It's the holiday season, so make it easier. You can please like and subscribe. There's a subscribe button somewhere down here. It's red. Click that. I'd appreciate a like, and any comments, good or bad. I appreciate feedback, or most people would probably be criticism in the comments, and that's okay too. But if there's anything you'd like us to talk about, to help you out with, feel free to comment on that. And if you're ready to get to work, click on my LinkedIn profile down there. It's Jim A. Burris on LinkedIn if you want to just look me up in Dallas. And we can set up some time to chat, and we'll get to work. Thanks.